Welcome back to the part 2 of the session. If you have not seen it, I will give the link in the description. You can go and visit the part 1 of Pega CSA 24.2. Okay, let's get started. So, in our first video, part 1, we have covered low code and Pega Constellation Design System, defining customer micro journey, designing a case lifecycle. In the part 1, we have already covered. Today, we will get started with the data model. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what is data modeling. And if you are viewing the series for the first time, here we are trying to give a very high level idea of what is there in the Pega 24.2 version. You can go visit to the course and you can learn on your own pace. We are just giving an high level idea of what is there inside the course. Okay, let's get started with the data modeling. So what is a data model? Data model is a visual representation of your data elements, simple. And why do we have it? It is for the efficient reuse and in order to sort out any differences of opinion, or in order to come with a clear idea of what is going to be developed or built in an application. Now, Pega uses three variations of the data model. There are three types: conceptual, logical, and physical. So conceptual data model, as the name sounds, it is a design, that is a diagram or diagrammatic representation that is generally done by the business architects and the various key stakeholders, the business people who are the brain behind the system that is yet to be developed. If you look at here, it is a diagrammatic representation, right? Physical representation. It is a kind of pen and paper and design system which gets converted to an design document. So this is it. This is the conceptual model. And if you talk about the logical data model, so whatever we have here, it is a basic idea. This is a prototype, right? Pen and paper and design kind of thing. In terms of logical model, these things get converted to as fields. That is, in Pega, we will be creating a data type. This is a conceptual model. This conceptual model will get converted to as a data model, and we will convert that into different fields. So this is basically considered as a logical data model. And what do we have this the last type? That is the physical data model. So I hope you're clear. This is the conceptual data model and this one is the logical model. Logical model in the sense like fields, if this is it's getting converted as fields. And later on, physical model is nothing but an physical representation of data. That is, you have a concept and you have created fields. Finally, you will be getting a data associated with that field, right? For example, I can say, what is your other number? Other number is a conceptual data model. If you create a field for other number, then it becomes a logical model. If you share your other number in that field, then it becomes a physical model. So physical model is represented, it is stored in either in the Pega DB or in an external system that you can explore later. And physical model, all these relationships can be viewed in the integration map as well as in the data model. Here you can see these are all the different data models. We will talk about Datapage and reference system of record later on. I can give a high level gist of it. So this is a collection of objects. And Datapage, as you already know, it is a mechanism where you are retrieving the data objects, keeping it in local store for an better efficient caching purpose. And referenced by or else system of record. For now we will keep it simple. I don't, if you are very extremely beginner to Pega, then it might confuse you. So later on we will explore. Anyhow, we will be these things are coming in the upcoming sections. Now let's quickly check our knowledge. What is this about? So the physical, you just check. The dash is an data model focuses on creation of data objects, fields that define the information needed to successfully resolve a case. And the data model reflects data as it is stored and accessed in organization external system of record. So you can easily, I think you already guessed it. So we are talking about storage. Obviously the storage comes into the physical concept, and the data model is living document, right? As I already said, if you have guessed it is a conceptual, then you are right. This is the conceptual, and we have the logical. Creation of data objects and fields. right? I told you about fields. I was repeatedly telling about it. Check the answer. Let's see. Yes, as we like is the right one. So moving on to the next topic. Data records. So, in the last section, we were discussing about data fields. Data means data fields, right? So we are here we're discussing about the data object. So object, I hope you would have definitely known if you are here learning Pega, definitely you would have come across about the concept of object. So here we consider customers an object, and this is the group of fields that branch under the object customer. The customer is represented by the various fields: account ID, coverage level, email, enrollment, first name, and last name. So these are all the various fields associated with this customer object, and we have values under it. So this is an object, these are all fields, and this is a record. We that is a physical, the instance of the customer. Account ID, coverage is standard. So this value, right? This is called as a record. Definitely, you can associate with the DB record. Definitely, I hope you're already familiar with these concepts. So the same, even in Pega, we're following the same. So data records and data objects. So what are all the association with it? Because in certain scenarios, we will not just have only one single record for the particular object. We may have several options associated with it. So let's see what it is. So here we have an concept of a field called airport, but even in that field, right, we will have multiple values for it. So here you can come up with, you can configure in such a way that you will have multiple values. We will see about this list of items, how will you configure and drop down multi-select values later on. For now, I'm trying to understand the simple things like customer is object. Here we have several fields, and here is the record for each and every field. Moving on to local data storage. The moment you create a data object, right, a data object, you have data model and records, right? And then in that record, you can find, as I already said, like similarly, that is just a repetition again. You can even keep on adding several records as you wish, because whenever you are sourcing this data object, right, customer, you can even find like what to say here, you can even reference with that object, you can reference the value for this email address. We will see practical examples later on. And with regards to data records, we also have, that is one way of storing record for the particular data object is to add fields, multiple entries to this particular records. The other way of having data records for these data object is by referencing the external data sources. That is, for example, here they are given a grocery delivery application which has a supermarket external product database to retrieve the list of available products from which to order. So this is one of the example. You can go through, so let's even you can just check here. You want to create a list of products and their attributes to use this data in application. Which method do you use to create create a data stored within the application? So obviously what will you do here? We cannot go with the pick list because there are multiple list of products, and create a case with product, that again will not work because there are multiple products. If you go through with this, synchronize with external web service that provides product data for your application. Here again, you'll have to, which method do you use to create data stored within the application. So that is a differentiator. So what do we have? We have this configure a data object and data records added to the data object. So this is the ideal option that we can select as per the question that is given here. So obviously that is right. Moving on to the next topic. Data pages and visual data model. We will have a separate section for the data page. A data page will take an instance, means let us dig deep dive into data pages later. Here you can see a visual representation. That is a data page. Here you can see for a data page what are all the different data types that has been associated, and you can also see the visual data model over here. And default data pages for data objects, that is, whenever you create a data page will be associated with the data type and it will retrieve the records, right? Whenever you create a data type, by default a data page, three data pages will be created for the data objects. By default you will have a for example, request as a data page. Let's take so request in a single read, that is, you will get single instance. For example, if I ask your passport, you will be giving only your passport, right? So imagine that this is a single read. If I'm asking passport of all your family members, then I'm asking list of passports, right? So that is list request. List, you're collecting a list of records. Savable request is like you are going to read a particular record and also save to that particular record. We can see it in detail in the upcoming portions. Right now we will just move on with the flow. Simulated data pages is savable till an application. Let's take you are developing an application which depends on external application. Let's take a banking application which will give you whether the customer is reliable or not. Imagine a situation that that particular application is yet to be developed. Till that time, your application development should not be blocked. In that scenario, what you can do, you can either, if it is going to be an external service that you are going to consume via your connectors, you can simulate the data pages. If you are a beginner to Pega, don't get afraid. Those things will be covered in the upcoming sessions. Anyhow, we will be seeing all those things. For now, just try to understand simulating the data page, in the sense we are trying to at local. If you're trying to develop an service or a connector, we are trying to give and localize the setup for the data to be displayed. That's a basic understanding that will help you at this juncture, because we don't want to complicate it right now. I hope you will, you can go through the sections and you can understand even in detail. For now, as an high level review, we'll just walk it over here like this. Data model, in this integration designer, you can find the list of objects and what are all the data pages associated with it, referenced by system of record. So data model is to visualize all the data in your application. Integration is where you will see where the data is coming from. And this is a Pega application. These are all the data objects and this is the data types, and where does this come from. We will quickly go to the module quiz and to the next topic. Module quiz you can take in your own time. For now, since we are giving it a high level, I'm just trying to skip. So now let's see an example. Click on person, click create data model, click next. System is going to be Pega. Add fields. Here we will create first name, last name. Let's take the type as text. Let's click and create another last name field, and it will be a single line. And let's create address. For this we can choose the data type as address, and we have phone number. We can also create, we also have a data type called phone number here, so we can choose it. Click on save. Now we see the request type. Here we will create a new data model. Request type, system of record is Pega, because it is going to be stored within Pega. Add field. We will create different types, like here we are trying to create a data type which will record list of request, where, for example, like potholes, any kind of complaints of that sort. Create a text paragraph, plain text. A department, to which department are you going to raise the complaint. Now click on save. Click on records. Now we are going to add values. That is, we are going to add records to this particular data object. So park maintenance description is playground equipment, department, parks and recreation. Similar way, we will be adding other records. Click on save. That's it. So we have created data object. We have included records. We can see that in the integration map, we will have the newly created data objects and types. That's capturing and presenting the data, fields, calculated values and views. We have extensively seen what is a field, right? So field is a representation. Like for example, this we know this is a text, this is a date, and this is an integer. Numbers are generally represented with integers, and currency is something that you will prefix based upon the data type. The functionalities will differ. Name and data types, simple field types. These are around 14 to 15 types of simple, basic level data types are there within Pega. Currency, date, time, decimal, email, integer, pick list. Pick list is something that we use during the drop down or radio buttons. And we do have fancy fields like attachment, location, and we have something called the primary fields, which are extremely relevant to the case type. In the label description, you can also, it can be marked as primary, and means it will be marked primary by default. We will just have and check first name, guess with me, okay, text single. Last name will be text single. Number of payments is going to be integer. Annual income will always be currency, and loan type is going to be pick list, because there can be multiple loan types, and text paragraph, because it will not be a single line description. Loan description will be huge. Okay. I don't know what is happening. Okay, let's check the answer. So we got it all right. Moving on to the next topic. Calculated values is when you mark a particular field, which you can say as it will have a functions like sum, average, minimum, maximum, use expression, or use decision table. So you have an option to calculate the value of that particular field, which we can see how to do the configuration. For example, if you are marking a case ID as an, I don't think so we can expand it. Okay, if you're making as a case ID, you can mark this as a calculated field. From there you can choose whether you're going to make use of the function, or you're going to make use of the expression and use a decision table. That we can do. We can see that as a practical example also in the upcoming exercise. So functions, we have 4 different types. It is like minimum, min, max, sum and average for calculating the values. That is like adding cart. When you add numbers, and automatically you can see the cart is getting updated. And here also you can customize it, as you can refer a property and you can add. And you also have a decision table where you can, based upon the value of the decision table, you can arrive at a number. So that also you can do. If you use a decision table, you can make use of the existing decision table and evaluate the interest rate. So calculation networks are basically forward and backward chaining that you can learn later. For now, try to get the grasp of this. If you're already, if you're familiar, then it is kind of a repeat only for you, because we have some new inclusions like view. View is where we are totally replacing the sections. Section type of development in the constellation, it has been done using the views. And view is a group of field which is an reusable component that's similar to the sections. And views are for specific tasks, like you can make a view, because you can have a view for this, and later on you can take this particular view, make it as a read only, and you can only have another section to do the approval, because the approver is not going to change, will not be able to change anything over here. He has to just go and approve it. And view considerations, it is like you can make, if you can make one single columns a double column, you can design it accordingly. And we will have fields which is simple drag and drop of kind. And field groups, you can have a group or cluster of individual, and you can represent it as a view inside the, sorry, field groups as the data types that you create, you can represent over here, and you can drag accordingly. You can drag, reuse those fields. Forms, views versus forms, again, forms is it's a type of view. It is not something different out of view. It is a type of view where you will be, where you will have the cancel previous next buttons. View, you can make use for all view, all forms are views, but all views are not forms. So view also has an other functionality, like based upon the functionality, you can conditionally choose to display what to be what to be displayed. So this is just a gist of it. You can go through and can get a better idea by going for other hyperlinks that has been given over here. You can go through that. Now we will just try to go to the module quiz, because I don't want it to be a bigger version of explaining this, right? I want it to be crisp, so I'm going to just go through it, or you will lose interest if it is going to prolong for a long time. Okay, so click on the request. Let's see how to configure the calculated value here. Issue severity, low, high, medium. Just for calculated field, use the expression. Click on save. Now let's configure it in the view. Search for the field. Rearrange it. Click on submit. Configure the view. Here you can add the total time. Click on add. Make it as a read only. Click on submit. Click on save. Let's run through the flow. What we see is in a field, what we see is a view actually that's been designed. Previously we used to have, so here you can see it is getting on automatically updated as 120. Previously we used to have the sections fully, it is a section based development, but moving forward it is completely view based. And that's the one thing that we need to familiarize as a Pega developers. If you are quite new, you can easily adapt, but if you are more than 5 to 6 years, it kind of might be something new to you, and anything can be easily adapted, because even when it was 6.2, the UI was completely different from what we see now. So adoption is very important. So let's take a pause here, and let's continue full case views tomorrow, or in the next session of this. I hope you would have got a high level idea of what is there in these sections. Read through on your own. Whatever I have shared is just a high level review of what is there in those sections. It will be good if you go and open the exercise system, go through it, read through it, and do it on your own. so that you'll remember and you'll be able to do it in your work very easily. Thank you. Thanks for for your time. We will meet soon. Bye bye.